Ross Lake Floating Cabins, Washington. Have you ever visited a place where you can engage in multiple outdoor activities? If no, you should consider Ross Lake in Washington as your next destination to spend your vacations. Ross Lake is a recreation area that is part of the North Cascade National Park Service complex. But did you know, this national recreation doesn't charge any entrance fee and has floating cabins. Today we will discuss the Ross Lake National Recreational Area, floating cabins in Ross Lake, and why it attracts so many visitors from across the globe. Also, we will warn you about a few things that you'll have to face when visiting Ross Lake. So make sure to watch the video till the end. Ross Lake is a 22-mile long and a 1,600 feet high reservoir in Washington that covers an area of 11,680 acres. It has been in existence since 1952 and is famous for its unique floating cabins. The reservoir attracts visitors who are fond of fishing, boating, kayaking, hiking, and other outdoor activities. Ross Lake is considered to be one of the most relaxing places because there are no signs of civilization across the lake except for a resort that has been there for over 60 years. A recent survey report showed that Ross Lake National Recreational Area received over 900,000 visitors in 1 year. This number is way less when you compare it to other recreational areas like Olympic and Mount Rainier, but you will be surprised to know that there are only 15 floating cabins in Ross Lake where you can stay during your trip. So if you want to stay in these floating cabins, you have to book a cabin a few months before you want to visit Ross Lake. It might sound unreal, but it is very difficult to book floating cabins here. Ross Lake is one of the best places to enjoy hot summers, which is the reason why most tourists visit in the months from June to October. There are over 50 camping places across the lake where these visitors can stay and enjoy the beautiful scenery of the lake surrounded by mountains. But traveling to Ross Lake is not an easy job because there is no direct road access towards the lake. Then how do people get there? Most tourists prefer a gravel road from Hope, British Columbia to reach Ross Lake from the northern side. It is, of course, the best way if you want to travel by road, but this route will not take you all the way to your destination. You have to park your vehicle at Ross Lake Trailhead and then hike towards another gravel road. From there, you can book a shuttle ride that will take you directly towards Ross Lake and its floating cabins. From the south, you have a gravel Silver Skagit Road, just towards the south of the US-Canada border. This road will again take you to the resort from where you have to use a water route to reach your destination. Alternatively, you can reach Ross Lake from Diablo Lake. For this, you have to visit Diablo Lake first, and then you can use the water taxi service of the resort to reach Ross Lake. This taxi service carries the visitors towards their rentals or the lakeshore campsites. But you have to make prior agreements regarding your destination and the cost they'll charge per person. It doesn't matter which route you choose. You will definitely enjoy a unique traveling experience that you don't get when visiting other recreational resorts. When you enter Ross Lake National Recreational Area, you will feel as if you have come into a world where there is no noise pollution. Yes, the lake view is smaller than that of Diablo Lake, but still, you have the most eye-catching scenery and enjoyable weather. This place is famous for its floating cabins. As we mentioned earlier, there are nearly 15 floating cabins only, so it's very difficult to book these cabins for yourself. But if you're lucky enough to book one of these cabins, you will have the most unforgettable experience of your life in these cabins. But what is so special about these floating cabins? Well, all of these floating cabins have fully furnished kitchens and bathrooms that make them no less than a luxury hotel. Not just that, you even have 24/7 electricity and running water so you can enjoy every minute of your stay here. These cabins are divided into 4 categories depending on the number of guests and other amenities. The first one is the little cabin, which is the best if you are a solo traveler. In this category, you get a small-sized but well-furnished cabins with a bedroom having one queen-size bed and a bunk bed, a kitchen with a wood stove, and a bathroom. The second category is the modern cabin, which is the best for 5 to 6 people. In these cabins, you get 3 twin beds with a bunk bed. So if you and your friend are lucky enough to book a floating cabin in Ross Lake, the modern cabin is the perfect option for you. At number 3, there is the peak cabin. It is the only category where you see double-story cabins. Living in the peak cabins gives you a perfect experience of living in a double-story apartment or hotel. In this cabin, you can enjoy an open loft with a queen-size bed and 2 twin beds, making it a perfect option for less than 10 people. Finally, the fourth category is the private bunkhouse, which is perfect for 10 to 12 people. In this category, you get cabins with 5 to 6 bunk beds, a fully furnished kitchen, lavish bedrooms, and bathrooms. The only thing that might make you sad is that there is no availability of restaurants. It is because there are no signs of civilization nearby. Thus, you can either pack some food with you or cook by yourself in your floating cabin. Now, let's talk about what activities you can do in Ross Lake National Recreation Area. The place is surely full of natural beauty, but it is also famous for healthy outdoor activities such as fishing, hiking, and swimming. If you want to enjoy fishing, you have to visit Ross Lake between July to October. As of making this video, there are 19 boats on the shores of Ross Lake. So if you're lucky enough, you can enjoy fishing in Ross Lake by using these boats. And don't worry about the fishing equipment, because you can rent everything you need for fishing. The same is the case for swimming. The visitors are only allowed to swim near the sandy beach area. In most cases, visitors can swim in the Ross campground near the Canadian side. However, the water here is pretty cold, even in the months between July to September. In other months, the water levels significantly drop and the temperature further decreases. So if you want to swim in Ross Lake, you have to visit in the months from July to September. Ross Lake is also a perfect spot for hiking lovers. The lake is surrounded by Okanogan National Forest, Skagit Valley Provincial Park, North Cascade National Parks, and similar places where visitors can enjoy hiking. And if you love mountain hiking, you will not regret going to Ruby Mountain, Desolation Peak, or Hosamine Mountain. Whether you stay in the floating cabins or not, you can enjoy all this in Ross Lake. Ross Lake is open for everyone for night camps and even for quick visits. If you want to enjoy overnight camps, you have over 50 campsites along the shores of Ross Lake. Here you can rent everything you need for outdoor adventures like fishing or hiking. Before ending the video, we want to make you aware of a few things you'll have to face in Ross Lake. Firstly, there is no cell coverage near Ross Lake, which means you can't get in touch with your family or friends. The same is the case with people staying in the floating cabins. Yes, all of these cabins are fully furnished and offer a lot of amenities, but still, you don't have any internet connection. So make sure to keep these things in mind if you're planning to visit Ross Lake this year. There you have it, a detailed video about Ross Lake in Washington. It is indeed one of the most relaxing places to have peace of mind. If you're tired of your busy routine and are looking for a calm place to spend some time, Ross Lake National Recreation Area in Washington is what you should consider. We agree that getting there is a bit difficult because there is no direct access via roads. Also, there's no cell coverage in Ross Lake. But still, you can't ignore the beautiful scenery and facilities to engage in healthy outdoor adventures like fishing and hiking. Thanks for making it this far till the end of the video. Do let us know in the comments if you have ever been to Ross Lake. Feel free to share your experience with us. Also, let us know if you want to see similar videos. Goodbye till we meet again.